In the Falklands, there are these striated caracaras, which are affectionately known as the Johnny Rooks. They're just these mischievous, curious birds that are absolutely into everything. I mean, you can't go anywhere without being followed by a Johnny Rook. They're just constantly all up in your business, trying to steal your things, trying to get into your food. I mean, we would land a plane on an island, and before we were even out of the plane, there'd be a couple Johnny Rooks up on the wings, coming to see who was visiting. I mean, they were absolutely our island entertainment while we were out there. I mean, you couldn't leave a single thing unattended. So, of course, it was a pain at times. You know, they'd be getting into our food, getting into our cables. But they were just so funny to watch. And they're hoarders. I mean, these Johnny Rooks, they just find things and they don't even eat the food immediately. And it's because, you know, they're sort of having to make a store for the winter months when there isn't a lot of other food around. So they'd, you know, make these piles in this tussock grass of just whatever scraps or junk they find. One day we went out to film and one of Neil's boots was just missing off of the porch. So I thought, oh my gosh, Johnny Rook has literally flown off with his boot. It was a really windy day, and so I mean, when the wind's strong, I mean, it'd be quite easy for him to take the boot, you know, straight up into the air. So we just were trying to picture this. We couldn't even imagine, you know, what this must have looked like. And so we take his other boot out into a field, and sure enough, when we walk away from it, you know, 1 minute later, you know, Johnny Rook's right on top of it, and he picks the boot up, flies off in the air, and starts flying out to the ocean with this boot. And I mean, he drops it before he makes it out into the waves. So a couple months later, we went back to Steeplejason for another shoot, and Neil wasn't with us this time. And so one day I'm just walking past this porch, and I just happen to look underneath it, and I see there is Neil's other boot. So we had blamed this poor Johnny Rook, and for once he actually wasn't responsible for this mischief. The boot had just blown off the porch. And so, you know, to this day, actually, Neil still thinks that Johnny Rook stole his boot.